To some, he is a potentially good heavyweight. Let's see what Dave Bontempo has to say about the Butterbean.
Introducing Butterbean.
Forget you ever heard the name Eric Esch. It's Butterbean. The 300-pound plus Jasper, Alabama heavyweight made an unorthodox trip to the pros. He advanced through the Tough Man, where he was twice a national finalist. His size and expression were intimidating. Butterbean's menacing barroom brawl style became the symbol of the Tough Man. He became a fan's favorite, but now comes the hard part. Stylists have been able to jab Butterbean. Kenny Myers, who was 3-6, did everything but get a decision over Butterbean last month. He exposed Butterbean's weaknesses. Fans booed the call. Now Butterbean needs some dramatic knockouts.
There is the matchup. Butterbean, Eric Esch against Pat Jackson. You have seen the Butterbean, as Dave pointed out in that nice highlight package so many times. And here comes Pat Jackson, who is a fledgling pro. He is just 1-1. He's a big guy by most standards, 6'5" and 273. But in terms of weight, anyway, it's amazing when you're 273 to be outweighed by about 50 or 60 pounds by your opponent.
What a novel experience indeed. And Jackson selected here, expected not to move too much. They're trying to get Butterbean a stationary target, somebody who can be right in front of him, where they think that will bring out his best work.
Well, he's had trouble, Butterbean has, with boxers. There he is. Fans like him. He was in the Tough Man contest, as Dave pointed out. Did not win it, but finished second twice. And he is an intriguing figure just to look at. And he's got some power when he can land his punches against you. We mentioned he's had trouble with boxers. Decked in patriotic garb, as is Art Dorr, his handler. And there's Murray Sutherland, who is his trainer, former great light heavyweight.
And one thing when you're making the transition from a Tough Man into the pro ranks, that is one pretty legitimate credential to have a trainer of that magnitude and that type of discipline in your corner. Murray Sutherland knows quite a bit.
All right, so the Butterbean is getting ready to go here. And let's go to the center of the ring for Bobby Stevens.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, in the red corner, wearing the black trunks from Montgomery, Alabama, weighing in at 273 pounds with a record of 1 win and 1 loss. It's a big round of applause for Pat Jackson. And in the blue corner, wearing the red, white, and blue trunks, also from Montgomery, Alabama, weighing in at 315 pounds, with a professional record of 11 wins, no losses, 7 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Butterbean. Oh, that's love. Your referee for this bout, Terry Wood.
I should have given you pre-fight instructions earlier. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. You protect yourself at all times. Touch the gloves, go to the corner, wait for the bell.
Well, we are set to go. That is Pat Jackson, the 6'5", 273-pounder. Came in here with a 1-1 record. And across the way, Butterbean, as he's known now, Eric Esch, who comes in here with that undefeated record. Now, the last time out here on ESPN, you saw him against Ken Myers in a bout we did over in State Line, Nevada, at Buffalo Bills. And in truth, we thought that Myers outboxed Butterbean, but the Bean got a decision. And he told us this morning, and he showed evidence now, he said, I'm going to go back to fighting the way I was in a tough man. He said, I'm really going to go after these guys.
Well, he has to try to walk through his opponents more and fight more instinctively. If he tries to get too fundamentally oriented, which over the long haul he needs, it might hurt him in some of these fights here.
Jackson moving, and that's what you do against him. You also jab. You can't miss the Butterbean with a jab. Now, he says he's working on that a little bit, and these people wanting to be more aggressive, and they think that'll take away the jab instead of him just standing on the outside like now.
Well, he might be in that cross here when offensive fighters try to incorporate some defense into their plan. Sometimes it takes away a bit of their aggressiveness.
Well, they may have wanted Pat Jackson to stand in front of him, but guess what? He's not cooperating.
Hey,
he may have had his own fight plan. Go figure. What a lucky guy. We're in round one.
He utilizes every inch of the ring, and he wishes it was bigger.
It is scheduled for 4. Jackson using the jab and the straight right hand getting in against Butterbean.
Also, now you have to make Butterbean move more. If you just give him the center of the ring, which thus far Jackson has done, then he can hone in, cut off the ring, and get in tight on his punches here.
Now Jackson is not running, he's moving, but the crowd doesn't like him moving. They want to see him brawl with Butterbean, and believe me, Butterbean wants to see that. Terry Wood, the referee, to say he has his hands full is the understatement of the decade. Crowd support for Butterbean, as you heard.
Butterbean tried to dig the body there now. Jackson stood up there.
Nice right hand by Jackson. Well, so far in this first round, Jackson has landed the jabs, the straight right hands, an occasional hook, and Butterbean's had a hard time getting on the inside. But then we said that in the Myers fight, and it didn't seem to matter. So we'll see. It didn't matter in the scoring anyway. And there is some, I think some puffiness underneath the left eye of Butterbean. He was cut a couple of fights ago.
And that kept him out of our fight in Palm Springs. But Jackson is moving here, but you get the sense he better not stop, better not get tired.
So, round one anyway is a round in which Pat Jackson is able to box against the Bean, keep him at bay, and land some punches. I think he won it. There we go.
Well, Jackson on the bicycle, watch the left hand here. Gets Butterbean under the eye, and that may have been where some swelling started.
And there is a little blood trickling also. We're in round 2. And they told Butterbean in between rounds, Murray Sutherland said, go after him, punch like a maniac like you did in the tough man contest, and that's what he's doing.
And now he is in his element as he was out landed in that first round. When Butterbean does that, he'll be in his element. At this level, maybe he simply has to walk through guys, even if he eats something, and try to land one big shot to turn the fight around.
We're in round 2. It is scheduled for 4. And in this round, Jackson has moved less, as Dave predicted he might. He's been hit with some shots by Butterbean. There's the jab by Jackson. Again, that's not a hard punch to land. He holds on to Butterbean. The Bean smacks him on the back of the head. The second round of what is scheduled for 4. Al Bernstein along with Dave Von Tempo here at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, Louisiana. The Treasure Chest Casino is our sponsor in this event. Our host.
We have a nice crowd here too.
Very good crowd. And they are into this fight. Good right by Butterbean. He may have hurt Jackson. And they're waving him on.
Jackson moving straight back. That's not what he wants to do here. And Butterbean sensing that. Closing the distance.
Jackson's tired. He doesn't have too much on his punches either.
And he is going to be begging for a right hand here. Unless he can get on that bicycle.
This fight is kind of in slow motion at this moment. There's some swelling underneath the left eye of Butterbean. His jab's not much. Bean comes in with the overhand right.
He just missed with it there, but if that punch is there a little bit later on, he will be scoring with it.
Butterbean is undefeated at 11-0. And this is the level of opponents he has primarily fought.
Well, Jackson had some effective movement in round 1. In this round, it's been ineffective movement. When he has been doing something, he's not punching off it, and he's moving straight back too much.
And Butterbean's still having a hard time hitting him. He's got a look on his face, and Butterbean's like, come on, stay in one place, will you? Well, and you hit on it, Dave. Now Jackson is just kind of in a survival mode. He's not punching much. I don't think he has much on the punch. He's so tired, Jackson is about ready to fall down.
He's in a place he cannot afford to be in this bout.
Very little offensively coming from Pat Jackson. So Terry Wood saying he'll take a point away from Jackson. Can't even stand up. We'll be back for round 3.
What?
Middleweight champion, now campaigning as a light heavyweight, takes on Dominic Carter. We'll have lots of fan support here in Kenner, Louisiana. That's still to come in our main event, so don't go anywhere. That's Butterbean, who picked things up in the second round. See the badge of honor he has from those jabs that Pat Jackson is landing. Dave, Pat Jackson looked so tired at the end of that first round. The second round, I thought he was going to fall down.
Well, exactly. He is a candidate for early retirement in this fight. There's nothing left in the gas tank, and he's down to 13 punches. Butterbean up at 22. What nothing can be measured is the stamina of Jackson, which is non-existent. And he is a target. Terry Wood better be very much on top of this here, because Jackson is a candidate to go down and maybe not to fight too much.
And a lot of holding by Jackson. He will get a point taken away because Wood has already given him a caution about that.
And he's holding the ropes for support now. And if you ever wanted to define the word reluctance, it's the face of Jackson.
And let's put things in perspective. Last time that Butterbean fought Ken Myers, he fought a little bit this way, but also was very active in throwing punches. But Jackson is just moving around, not doing much of anything. So,
well, his gas tank has betrayed him, and he's trying to skate through 6 more minutes here. And that is a tough situation.
Well, they didn't find somebody who was stationary, but there's Jackson landing right hands. Not much behind that. He just reaches out to hold on. Good body work by Butterbean. That's a good idea by him, no?
Yes, get on the inside, pound away, and the head will open up. And Jackson just wants to drape his arms around him.
His hands are down.
He would not care if he was disqualified.
No, not at this juncture. He's got nothing left at all. I mean, he could land a right hand as he did earlier, but he just can't throw it. A little over a minute left to go here in round 3. I don't know if this will go that much longer. Pat Jackson is really tired. Well, there you see what you can do when you stay on the outside and throw punches against Butterbean. You can land. Frustration showing on Butterbean there.
Butterbean should try a left hook to the body, then go upstairs. Now he's uppercutting.
The interesting thing, Dave, is he hasn't really hurt Jackson that much with these punches. It's just that Jackson is tired.
Well, now he's throwing the tough man type punches. They told him, get inside, just get the hands moving. It is better than nothing, and it would give him this fight here if he continues.
Half a minute left to go in round 3. The big fellow in the red, white, blue trunks is called Butterbean. The other gentleman is Pat Jackson. And this is what you would call your basic 4-round heavyweight fight.
That should have been scheduled for 3.
Yeah, thank you. We will return for more here in Kenner, Louisiana. Stay with us. That is Terry Wood, the referee. And as we were going away, watch what happened.
Unfortunately, he walks into the best punch of the fight. At the end of the round, he's separating the fighters. And referees cannot protect themselves at all times the way fighters do. And we've seen referees get hit in the past. That might be one of the most dramatic shots he walked into. Boy, that's combat pay right there.
Well, the fight is stopped not because Terry Wood got knocked down, but because Pat Jackson doesn't want to go on. And one happy guy is Terry Wood, who doesn't have to ref anymore. Well, the Bean, is he get a double knockout on this one?
He certainly should. I don't think that Terry Wood would have been too close to the action in that round.
So that's Pat Jackson, who is now 1-2. Truthfully, not really equipped to come in here and do battle. But nevertheless, he was the guy that took the punishment from this man, the Butterbean. Crowd loves him here.
He landed 37 punches in that round on Jackson, one on the ref right after that. And referees have to come in right after the bell. You wonder why that doesn't happen more. Thankfully, it does not, but you could see how it would.
And look, I mean, he's got a welt on the side of his face. And, you know, it does... This is not even something to joke about at all, because it shows you that referees have to have courage. Because he's a small man, Terry Wood. He would never in his life be fighting men this big. It's not like even like he was hit by a bantamweight. Well, there's Butterbean giving him a little hug, which is nice.
Well, 315 pounds hitting you like that after the bell.
When you don't expect it. It's not even like you're protecting yourself. Well, in any case, Butterbean gets his win. These fans here seem to enjoy him. Bobby Stevens is in the center of the ring.
Failing to answer the bell in the 4th round results in a technical knockout for Butterbean. That's Eric Butterbean.
So Butterbean, Eric Esch gets his 12th win as a professional against a somewhat reluctant Pat Jackson, but it is a win nevertheless. Dave Bontempo will be back to schmooze with the Butterbean. So stay with us. Pontchartrain Center here in Kenner, Louisiana, just outside New Orleans, where we saw Butterbean get his 12th win as a professional, but one of the oddest moments came here where he landed his most solid punch of the fight, unfortunately, to the head of Terry Wood, the referee. And Terry went down, and why not? He was hit by a 315-pound man, but he got up. Thank goodness he seems to be okay, and Terry takes a pretty good shot. That's Butterbean. He also beat Pat Jackson. Let's go up to Dave Bontempo.
Okay, thanks, Al. Butterbean once won 4 fights in a night in the Tough Man. Tonight he won 2. Were you trying to tell the referee to stop the fight there, Bean?
Well, not exactly. He just got in the way, just like Tough Man. Somebody gets in the way and they go down. It wasn't intentional, but it happens.
On the overall performance here, now take a look at it. Take us through it here. Here's the monitor. You a little surprised he was in the picture there?
Yeah, I didn't hear the bell, and I was going to knock him out. I was hurting him with everything I was towing, and I was going to finish it off for the round end, and apparently it ended a little sooner.
All right, now, Butterbean, we thought you might fight a guy here that might be stationary, and at 273, it seemed like he would be that way. Are you surprised he moved as much as he did?
Not after I hit him to the body. He knew better to move. I mean, it's going to happen. We're working more and more in the gym on bigger rings, and I'm going back to Tough Man. I ain't messing with this boxing stuff. I'm going back to Tough Man style. I'm just keep on him and throw a lot of punches, and they just can't keep up.
So you figured the instinct is a better way to do this. Just go with what's natural for you.
That's right. I tried a couple boxing. I fought 3 fights last month. Went to a little more boxing. It didn't work for me. I'm going back to Tough Man style, just wide open. And they ain't going to hold up. Nobody.
Okay, Butterbean, congratulations on this effort. We'll see you again very soon, of course. Now we'll try to bring referee Terry Wood in here. Terry's coming around. All right, we'll come around the other side. First of all, Terry, how are you?
I'm just fine, just fine.
Well, referees get combat pay. You must get double pay for this tonight.
No, I wish I did, but it goes with the territory, Dave. If you get in that ring, you're going to get hit.
Quickly taking us through there, what happened? You went to break the fighters?
Well, I heard Russell, the timekeeper, give the 10-second count as I got close to the boxers, which you'll do at that time, and thrust your hand between the boxers when the bell rings. And that's what I did, and they were in the heat of the battle, didn't hear the bell, and Eric caught me with one.
Well, we're certainly glad to hear you talking okay. Nothing's broken. You're going to continue tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, Terry Wood will stay in the lineup. Let's take it back now to Al Bernstein.
Well, Terry's a trooper. He is going to continue on the rest of the evening. So will we. We've got more when we come back. Boxing is a tough sport to follow sometimes, so we're going to take different weight divisions each week and help you understand the champions and some of the things going on in these weight divisions.
Well, you know, the heavyweight division generates most of the attention, most of the fan interest, the big money, and all the court suits. Well, where does that leave everybody else? There are so many other good divisions, so many other tremendous fighters. So we're going to start focusing on them because, hey, you can only have 7 champions, right? The way the organizations have exploded, you might see 4 and 5 very good fighters in every division. So let's take a look at some.
All right, and we start out this evening by taking a look at the junior middleweight division, which happens to be one of the few divisions that has 4 Americans, 4 United States fighters as champions. And as you look down that list, Dave, there are some extremely good fighters there. Obviously, Terry Norris and Paul Vaden and Verno Phillips. Carlos Daniels, not quite as well known. This is a good group.
Yeah, it's a group that you could see these guys going after each other at some point to make it very nice with each other. You've got 4 guys, drum up some interest. Norris, of course, the victory over Sugar Ray Leonard, some interesting fights since then. Nice division, and that's a sweet weight class too, 154. A lot of great fighters through there through the years. Just a little bit below middleweight, above welterweight. Very exciting division.
All right, and in fact, something very rare is happening in that division. On November 4th, there's going to be a fight, one of the undercard fights, a very good undercard, I might add, on the undercard of Mike Tyson and Buster Mathis in Las Vegas. Terry Norris is going to fight Paul Vaden. And we don't see titles unified too much, and it's especially interesting to see Terry Norris in a very tough fight.
It certainly is, Al, because Terry Norris might be the best one in the group. Let's take a look at him now in previous actions. Here's a guy with tremendous hand speed, good foot speed. We mentioned the victory over Sugar Ray Leonard. The fights with Santana, he kept getting disqualified, but certainly got it right. And look what he's doing to Meldrick Taylor. You don't do that to Meldrick Taylor. Obviously, the very good speed and the hand-to-eye coordination.
And that was him coming back against Simon Brown after he had lost to him. He'd had his troubles with Luis Santana and being disqualified, but now Terry Norris feels he is back on the beam. Well, we know a lot about Terry Norris, but a fighter who has kind of burst on the scene is Paul Vaden, who is quite a challenge to him.
He should bring something to the table. A southpaw, he beat Vincent Petway, also an amateur champion. And again, one of these guys who hasn't gotten a lot of publicity. So when you see upsets and you wonder, where do these guys come from? They're all floating around there. They don't have the big publicity, but they're very good fighters, and that's an excellent fight.
All right, and we really look forward to that on November 4th. That should be very, very good. We also look forward to our fight next week here on Top Rank Boxing. Stevie Martinez against Emmett Linton. That should be a good one. Contention, he is in contention, on the verge of getting a title shot in the junior middleweight division. And Emmett Linton, who is a fine amateur and now is a very good professional. That is next week here on Top Rank Boxing. This was Ringside Report. Dominic Carter. Should be a good one. We'll be back.